Not saying no names, but what if I told you that one of America's governors is blaming tech moguls and presidents for natural disasters? I mean, can this really be true?
I get it. They want to take us. I get it. I'm not naive. I get the California derangement syndrome. I've been living with that for years and years. New scum. You know, the same seventh grade. I remember the guy on Baltimore Avenue that called me new scum. I was in seventh grade. I can handle that. We'll leave that aside. I understand what they're trying to do. I want to work with them. It's not about me. It's about people that we both represent. He represents and I represent. And I'm honored and proud to represent these folks. And I desperately plead with them. Come out here. Help us. And we will help you. You'll be elevated, Mr. President. At the end of the day, you'll be the one we all will go to and say, thank you. Thank you, sir.
I can't believe it, y'all. I genuinely can't believe this. Gavin Newsom accuses Elon Musk and Trump of having California derangement syndrome. What? Now, new scum is brought close to tears because Trump has been calling him new scum. And he bizarrely switches gears and says Trump needs to come and help California to help him. Yeah, man, this guy completely lost it, just like my freaking camera. Yep, I gotta interject my own video for a second. Yes, I almost fell. Anywho, I want to say thank you to each and every last one of y'all for making this channel what it is. All the likes, comments, and subscribing, and all of you guys pouring into me with the wonderful messages. Thank y'all each and every day. Now, real quick, I don't have time to sell y'all on nothing because your boy got to get back to the video that y'all clicked on. I got a Patreon, patreon.com/kingdomcrew. Make sure you sign up ASAP. I've been telling y'all about it for the last week, letting y'all know that we got some special things coming up for sure for the effect, and I don't want you to miss out on it. Plus, the prices that I listed today will be changed tomorrow officially, so go sign up. The link will be in the description, but I'll tell you again, patreon.com/kingdomcrew. Come through any home. It makes you wonder a lot of different things, like, is this a cry for help or some sort of political strategy on Newsom's part? Because this man has definitely failed California over and over again, and he seemed on the verge of tears, I'm being honest, but then he switched gears right at the end, asking Trump to come help. I'm just saying, you know. But what if Newsom's accusations are just the tip of the iceberg? What else is he hiding? Well, that's what we're gonna be sitting here trying to figure out. And could this be the beginning of the end of Newsom's political career? Or is there more to the story?
Californians just have to recognize they're living in a failed state. And I say this as an Angelino that lived there 50 years. I love Los Angeles. It'll always be my home, but it's a failed state, no different than Venezuela, no different than Cuba or in North Korea. When you spend $7.5 billion on a water project in 2014 and not one thing has been done, not one reservoir has been built.
Hold on, you said to 2014 and not one thing has been done? Bro, that's 10 years ago.
$23 billion on a California high-speed rail and not 1 inch of track has been laid. You're living in a failed state. When your reservoirs can't be filled because they're under repair, but nobody knows why they're under repair, and the hydrants don't work, you're living in a failed state.
Wow.
And during COVID, I left California. And the reason why is when I was driving down freeways and looking around, all I saw were tents and trash everywhere. And I remember saying at the time that to somebody that it felt like open sores on the society, like it was a sign of a society that's diseased, that it's falling apart. And I thought, if there ever is another emergency, whether it's an earthquake or another COVID emergency or something, we know how the state will handle it, which is to say they can't handle it. They're totally incompetent, and you're not safe in California. And that is why we left. And the only way to get rid of this state that California is in is to get rid of the people running it. The California people have to get outraged enough to throw these Marxist leftists and elite out of government and get people in there that actually care about them and care whether they live or die.
I don't care how many times this camera decides to shut off on me. I'm not giving up on y'all like Gavin Newsom did. Nah. Look, I'm trying to make a little bit of light of the situation. Of course, this is a very dark scenario for a lot of people whom have lost their homes, but this guy was totally right. He just sat there and acknowledged what everybody in California was thinking, and well, outside of California were thinking as well. It is a failed state with these Democrat policies constantly being pushed and put in place, but you get what you vote for, right? That's always the sentiment. You get what you vote for. The call for Newsom and the leaders to resign is loud and clear. They've been making this known as of recent, the people, and you even had what's his name, O'Leary, come out and speak on that we checked out in the last video. You can feel the frustration of the people, and it's the breaking point for it's definitely going to be a breaking point for California's governance moving forward for sure. But the demand for accountability is fierce, as you can see. He's not taking accountability at all for his actions. So is Gavin Newsom's attractiveness and political correctness blinding a lot of people from the real issues in California is the question that's posed for this next video by Wokeness. I can't believe that was a real question that was posed by this. First of all, hey man, if you treating your people like that, everything about you ugly, bro. Like, no Diddy too, by the way. Pause.
What's not, I think, helpful or beneficial is this string of consciousness, these wild-eyed fantasies that somehow the state water project, we have reservoirs that are at or near historic highs, full, completely full, that somehow there's a magical spigot in California, in Northern California, that just can be turned on, and all of a sudden there'll be rain or water flowing everywhere. It's not helpful. It's damaging to the very foundation of the notion of what are facts, what are truths. And the fact of that asymmetry, that's profound and consequential, amplified by people like, let's be candid, Elon Musk and others. And that 1-2 punch is real. And it's not just about this fire. As our hurricane force winds of mis and disinformation that can divide a country on a myriad of issues, this is serious. What's not, I think, helpful or beneficial.
I'll just say that Newsom, he isn't the savior that he portrays himself to be. And I'm sure people are seeing through that all day, every day. Because Newsom's policies have led to the current state of affairs, even after warning from Donald Trump and others, letting this man know that he needs to get everything prepared for a situation like this. Yeah, he failed miserably, horribly, and yeah, he needs to get going. Now, Donald Trump actually responded to this. And he's showing Benny Johnson. I'm sorry, y'all, reading, and looking at the same time. But he's showing Benny Johnson is showing this response from Donald Trump on Truth Social. Dang, I'm over here frustrating myself. All right, but yeah, Trump is just straight up posting text messages now about the absolute disaster state that Los Angeles is in right now. This is his reply. Let me make sure I scroll it so you can see the whole thing. The actual irony: a homeowner consents to pay property taxes that will go to the fire department. The funds are diverted to illegal immigrants because LA is a sanctuary city. An illegal immigrant comes and sets your house on fire, and the fire department doesn't have the resources to put it out. The homeowner paid for their own destruction. On top of that, the government is so inept that the insurance companies won't insure houses here anymore. So the homeowner is left with nothing. I cannot believe that this scenario is actually what's being taken in place. They don't have nothing for you. Quite literally. That's all this post said in so many words. Gavin Newsom has nothing for you, but he's taking everything from you. Let's read some of the responses from the people. We are seeing the consequences of a socialist government over the years. Companies have been fleeing. It's quite obvious. Newsom is not a friend of the hardworking people in California. Trump is not lying. He's telling the truth. Newsom hates it. That's, of course, why he's going on this campaign to just talk about how everything that Trump is saying is misinformation and disinformation. He's rightfully angry. Los Angeles is just a disaster. It's a case study in what happens when leadership prioritizes illegal immigrants over his own people. Totally 100% agree with that. Now, moving forward, we've been seeing a lot of videos popping up online of people whom are creating fires themselves. Before I even started reacting to this, of course, I can't post the videos on YouTube, but yeah, when I started reacting to this, I'm seeing nothing but these videos of people actually starting the fires themselves. Yeah, man. And you got all these homes that are being the idea that this negligence fueled the wildfires was alarming. Okay. And And I think that this disaster could have been prevented, and it was preventable, at least on the scale that it's on right now, had this man Newsom actually took heed to the warning. Now, this post suggests divine intervention might be needed, right? And you might feel a mix of frustration, maybe some despair, who knows? But has human error pushed us beyond recovery? Honestly, because you look at this guy right here, you know the errors that he's making, dog. I don't think he can recover from that whatsoever. So I'll leave you with this. Was the wildfire disaster a natural event or a man-made catastrophe under Newsom's watch?
Here in Altadena, I just signed an executive order with community leaders to deal with the issue that is becoming a bigger and bigger issue every day. And that's land developers that are engaging in predatory efforts to make unsolicited offers for properties at significantly below market value. This predatory behavior is disgusting in the best of times. And of course, here in the midst of this tragedy at scale, it's disgraceful. So we're going to hold those folks accountable. I'm very grateful for the leadership here in the community that promoted this approach. And this executive order is a reflection of their direction and their commitment to preserving the unique character of this community for generations to come.
So Newsom's order traps wildfire victims in LA. Think about it. Newsom blocks wildfire survivors from selling their land, labeling offers from developers as prosecutable crimes. Newsom's policies have burned homes, stalled rebuilding, and now stripped victims of options. This guy right here, man. This guy. That's all I can say is this guy. Y'all, just look at him get owned right here. People are literally fleeing. Kids have lost their schools. Communities have lost their churches. Families have lost their homes. Some have even lost their lives. And the president-elect response is to politicize it. Yeah. You see what I see right here? Yeah, he's criticizing you, you dumb, corrupt, incompetent uck. No fire, abatement, no water, and hydrants / funding for emergency service. Whose fault do you think it is, Governor? Because it sure as shit isn't his. And I 100% agree. This guy needs to take some accountability. I think the one thing that could have helped Newsom in the beginning was him actually just being honest. Not necessarily, I mean, he gonna do the deflecting, but be honest and then deflect versus just no honesty whatsoever, no accountability whatsoever, and you just deflecting and thinking that's gonna work. Like, nah, dog. Now, they say the reason Newsom is desperately trying to deflect blame in his catastrophic incompetence is on shocking display to the entire world. California has the nation's highest taxes, yet the lowest standard of government performance, failing at the most basic task. Whoa.
We have the highest taxes in the country and the lowest standard of government performance. When it comes to just the basic things like managing our forests or storing our water or building our roads. And, you know, you mentioned at the outset that Newsom is trying to blame in every which direction. He's even put up a whole website devoted to trying to blame other people. He's called for some farcical investigation. And the reason he's doing this is because he knows that his incompetence now is on full display for the entire country in this tragic and shocking way.
And he wants to be the president in 4 years or in three years. I mean, which is going to come up really quick. He can't leave the Palisades and Malibu looking like a bomb hit them for the next 3 years because so many people that PCH drive, it's going to be a reminder of his incompetence. So he's talking to
president
about now he wants to cut all this red tape and make sure that we can clean this up and rebuild this as fast as possible. It's purely for political motivations in my estimation. But which it just proves though that all of the red tape that exists in your state that makes homeowners so miserable, that makes taxes so high, is really just all nonsensical. And if Gavin Newsom needs to win an election, they're more than happy with throwing them away.
I'll say that Newsom, his incompetence is on full display, and his lack of responsibility speaks volumes to the people of California. This also speaks volumes to the future of what California's voting local governance will look like too. But I'll say just wait until Trump takes that office, man. Newsom is going to learn that he cannot come to the feds anymore to bail him out for his incompetence.